Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors, a Curtis Custom Knives F3 full-size rendition. Before we get started, guys, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats show that number's going down. However, anything above zero is simply unacceptable. And vets, all we want you to know, man, is we love you. You have a place here. We're back to blue over here. We support Leo, all to the chagrin of many. How do you do that, Scab? Well, we don't break the damn law. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. So, here's the deal. This is the Curtis Custom Knives F3. It is the full size. It is in S35VN with a titanium frame lock. This one comes from Brandon Thrasher at Thrasher's Garage. And brother, much appreciated. He sent some badass knives for me to check out. We're going to do this one. We've got one more to do tomorrow. And then these are going to my brother from another mother, Donnie B All-day. So, while I'm showing y'all this, while we're going through this demonstration, do me a favor. Notice how it fits in my hand. That way when D-Bad gets it, you can get kind of a size comparison. Because really, truly, honestly, guys, when we're demonstrating, reviewing, whatever you want to call it, it's very, very individualized to the person, right? Knives are very subjective. Sizes aren't. So check out when D-Bad gets these. I'm excited for him to get them and see what he thinks. But this one comes from Brandon Thrasher, Thrasher's Garage. Thrash loves a Wharncliffe blade. He really does. A lot of what he sent, most of what he sent, is that Wharncliffe sheep's foot style. Now, here's what I've noticed. These knives are insanely sharp. His knives are. They're very, 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 very well done. Fit and finish on this is perfect. We're doing the Donnie B All-day drop test. Donnie B All-day throw it at the stump test. Just to check out a few things on the knife. The tip, the edge. We're also doing it to check out the lock. It is a frame lock, but man, the action on this thing is insanely smooth. What we're going to do all throughout this video is, one, we're going to cut just about everything we can find, because that's what you do with a pocket knife. It is a cutting tool. That's what you do. Also, we're going to do a lot of one-handed opening and closing. The thing that I love, there's a couple things that I love about this knife. First and foremost, when it's done correctly, I love a frame lock. All right? Let me say that again. When it's done correctly, there's this big myth out there about frame locks, liner lock. Listen, guys, when they're done correctly, and this is a nicer knife, higher end knife, it's done correctly, there's nothing wrong with that frame lock. Very comfortable in hand. And again, you're going to see it open and close, open and close, open and close, cutting a bunch of shit. This is that high pressure sandblast hose. This knife made short work of it. Now let me say this too, because I get this a lot, just about every video. Guys, I understand that edge geometry has a lot to do with the way the knife, I'm fully aware of that, okay? The damn thing's still sharp. Doesn't matter what it has to do with. This is a sharp-ass knife. This channel is more about function than the why. We do knife demonstrations. We don't do knife reviews if you're new here. And I'm not saying any of that smart. I'm just saying, if you're new here, this is kind of what we do. That's why I don't call them demonstrations. Or I'm sorry, why I don't call them reviews. We demonstrate the knife. We take it out of the box, we pick it up, out of the package, whatever, and we see if we can use it. This knife is super sharp. I understand why it's super sharp. I love S35 VN as well. It's one of my favorite steels. I am one of those guys, I like the frame lock. I also like titanium, the titanium frame, the mechanism there. We cut as much stuff as we can. It's very comfortable in hand, and it's easy to anodize. And this green, this kind of army green, olive drab green, whatever, is beautiful. Green's my favorite color. And man, it's just gorgeous, gorgeous on this knife. Now, if I'm not mistaken, these are made in the USA, made in Michigan. So it's American-made badassery. And I absolutely love it. Here we're cutting some zip ties. We do the zip tie test. We do that zip tie test really just to check the edge, see if it rolls chips. And again, the knives we've been doing here lately have been higher end, better quality materials. You're not going to have as much of that. I want y'all to watch this right here. This is that 2-inch high pressure air hose. It is 2-ply. It is between 3/16 and a 1/4 inch thick. Now, for everybody that's watched my videos before, we kind of do the same stuff over and over and over again. And this is exactly why. When we get a knife that's sharp, when we get a knife that performs well, you can see it immediately. If you're at work watching the video, and I challenge anybody to do this, turn off the volume, turn off the melodious tones, just watch the knife work. See, I can tell you all about it. Knives are subjective. Don't matter who says what. Knives are subjective. Point blank period. The things that are not are they sharp, the build quality, and the materials. Other than that, likes, dislikes, it's subjective. Now, we pop the trunk. We do that every video, and we cut a ton of different mediums. As we go through this video, just keep an eye on how many mediums we cut. Now, this particular water hose gives us problems sometimes because it's just a plastic hose, not much of a problem, with a canvas cover. That can be a problem. It wasn't here, and then here's just some standard paracord. This knife made super short work of it. Now, let me give y'all some quick specs. You know it's a titanium frame. The thickness of the blade is between 1/8 and 3/16 inch thick. The blade length is 3.5 inches. The cutting edge is 3 3/8 inches. It has a nice sharpening choil there. It's 4 7/8 inches closed, and it's 8 inches 9/16 overall length. Very, very comfortable knife in pocket. Rides well. It has some nice jimping on the back of the blade. It also has some nice jimping down by the pocket clip. It rides well in the pocket. I've carried it all afternoon. I've carried it the past few days, really, and it's just very comfortable. You barely know it's there. But again, it's the function. That's what we stress here. This video is only about 10 minutes and 15 seconds. But if you honestly look at what all we've cut, how many times we've cut it, that 2-inch ratchet strap, and of course these Fruit Loops. I'm a big Fruit Loops guy, I kind of love them. We cut cardboard, we cut paper, we cut sandblast hose, we cut ratchet strap, and we cut all that a lot. That red high pressure hose, the 1/4-inch high pressure hose, the water hose, wood, anything we could find, really, we've cut everything, and the knife handles well. The other thing the knife does is it continually opens and closes, right on cue, no lock up, no lock rock, none of that. It has a phenomenal action. I don't know if you would consider it fidgety, but it's one I've fidgeted with all day, so I would consider it fidgety. Real quick, again, just watch the knife work as we do some shout outs. There's a young lady over on Instagram. It's Lacy Lace EDC. Lacy Lace EDC on Instagram. She is having a giveaway for her 500 followers. Go over there, support her, and check out that giveaway. It's a kick-ass giveaway. You're going to want to do that. And then I want to shout out, and we've shouted out DBAD already. I want to shout out Donovan too. He is heading towards 1,000. Let's get Donovan there. My guy Grugsy Legion Tacticool, he's kind of a standard shout out. Joe, Steel Forged and Fire, Sword and Knife. 2 awesome channels right there. Check them out. And then, of course, Brandon Thrasher for letting me test these knives. And too, these will go to Donnie B All-day once they're done. I've got to tell you, I've always been nervous about doing folders, right? I get labeled as a fixed blade guy, and that's because I do a ton of fixed blades. Fixed blades are easy. They really are. They really are. They're cut and dry. When you get into the folders, that's where, not the function of them, but when we start talking about like detent and all the different aspects, and guys, I want you to understand when it comes to folders, function, I've used one my whole life. Learning all these terms, showing the different things, I am absolutely just learning. Now, what you've seen the last couple minutes is me cutting as many different materials as I can, right? I cut the industrial stuff to check the sharpness, check the edge, see if it chips, any of that. It didn't. And then I cut cardboard, I cut the plastic, I'm cutting this foam pool noodle, just cutting a bunch of stuff because the last test we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to cut the paper again. And I just want to show you that. And the other thing that I did here in these last few minutes, or last few seconds, is I'm showing you a bunch of different grips. Again, when they get to Donnie, just to show you the difference in hand size there and give you a different look. And I'm excited about my brother getting these. Now, watch how this thing performs. It held up fantastic. This is a knife I would be proud to own. This is a knife I would be proud to carry. It is the Curtis Custom Knives F3 full size. Straight up, say it with me, kids, badassery. I 1000% love this knife. Well, listen, guys, I'm Scab. You're not. And I'm gone, son.